And it's good to have you with us tonight. This is the story that has me fired up first. How about this? Campaign of deceit, so unlike the Republicans. Once again, they are trying to run and hide from the vote that they took on the Ryan budget last week. Last Thursday, the key question here, folks, I asked former RNC Chair Michael Steele this question. Do you think the Republicans can win on what they voted on in the House on the Ryan budget?
I do. I think Republicans will have a very good case to take to the American people. And ultimately, as you and I know, they will decide where they want this thing to come out.
Okay. Oh, yes, they will decide. Mr. Steele, good sport coming to the program, but he is completely wrong. House Republicans are planning a conference call for tomorrow to start the old damage control on the Ryan budget. A Republican source with knowledge of the call told the National Journal the call is intended to help swing district members who have been getting the crap kicked out of them. Now, the source is telling us that this is what they're going to be talking about.
You did not run on any, you said nothing in the campaign about I'm going to change Medicare. Now you voted for a plan that will destroy Medicare.
Well, I won't destroy Medicare. Medicare is going to be destroyed by itself.
I have a great way for you to pay for it.
If you voted to abolish Medicare, how will you explain that to people who are in their 50s, who are out of work, that they will have not the Medicare that I have? Let me be more clear.
If I voted to abolish Medicare, but I did not
vote to abolish Medicare. That's what his vote is.
Well, some of the Ryan budget that you just voted for brings down.
I don't have the chart from you.
What deficit? You don't have the chart here.
Well, want me to send it to you via email? Give me your email address.
I know what chart you used. It came from the Heritage Foundation.
Is this the crowd they voted for last November? Callers to my radio show tell me that Paul Ryan is going to get the same kind of treatment and questions at 4 separate listening sessions in Wisconsin tomorrow around the state. Now, Ryan and other members of his caucus, basically what they need is a different strategy to convince 80%. I love this number. I told you I was going to show it to you a lot. 80% of Americans who want Republicans to keep their mitts off Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, the big three. Republicans don't care if they win on the issue. See, right now the strategy is just to muddy the waters. Republican Party official told the Washington Post Republicans don't want to be talking about Medicare every day for the next year and a half. Well, guess what? But if they keep the conversation on broader issues of spending and taxes, they can win. The official went on to say Republicans, quote, can fight the Medicare issue to a tie by muddying the waters. In other words, Republicans are openly admitting that they are going to flat out lie about Medicare. They just took the vote. House Democrats, they ought to be, and they finally are jumping all over Republicans for lying about this issue. The DCCC put out this commercial today. I'm happy.
Social Security and Medicare are a promise we have made to our seniors, and I will keep that promise. I'll never put our seniors' future at risk. No cuts, no privatization, and no scaring our seniors.
Turning Medicare into a voucher program, privatizing Social Security, the agenda of a party that he hopes to put into power.
If that's the agenda, I'm not voting for it.
Now, let's not forget that Republicans lied about Medicare before the election, and now their constituents basically are making them look foolish at their own town hall meetings. Watch how a great Wisconsin voter made freshman Congressman Sean Duffy squirm. Here it is.
The Ryan budget proposes to turn Medicare into a voucher program.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Well, that's what my understanding is. That's what it is.
There's no
and the Congressional Budget Office thinks that's the case because they calculated the extra cost to seniors if it goes into a voucher program, and it's going to be trillions of dollars for those of us, for those young men like this fellow over here in front, who are going to have to pay more.
Listen, first of all, it's a premium support. It's not a voucher. But let me tell you this. The bottom line is, if we do nothing, you can all say, listen, and I can come and tell you, this is all fine and dandy. It's all going to work. You know, you can get it. And I don't know any young people here. You can all get this program.
You can get it, Congressman. You can get it. You can get it, but the voters can't get it. Premium support. No, Congressman, that's what you have. See, the constituents don't have premium support. That's what they're calling it now. Premium support. Now, come on, folks. You mean to tell me that the Ryan budget has in it that it's going to be a $6,000 cut on average to seniors across this country, and they're out there on the campaign trail trying to sell this 80% crowd that there is something premium about that? That's how dumb the Republicans are right now. That's how disfocused they are right now. And can we go back to that picture of those folks in that crowd? The guys that were sitting out there talking to this congressman. I mean, I just thought that this is just a typical Wisconsin crowd. Look at this. There's not a lot of diversity there. These are rural Americans who pay attention to what's going on in the news, and they're being told by this congressman that their cut is premium coverage, and the Republicans think that they can jargon their way around this? These good old boys right here in the heartland, they're not going to be buying that stuff. It's kind of comical, isn't it? Well, let's get back to the budget, because Congressman Pat Meehan, Republican from Pennsylvania, gets questioned on his vote, and what does he do? He calls it a blueprint.
Make a comment that I voted to abolish Medicare, and that's factually wrong.
Well, how is that wrong?
Second, ma'am, let me answer the question,
I
please,
will.
and I'll talk to you. Thank you. I voted for the Ryan plan. Let's be clear right from the outset. If you talked about what was in the proposal. Now, this is a blueprint. What Paul Ryan has put out is a blueprint, a sense of what we would like to do, a direction that we would like to go in, looking at a variety of issues.
It's just a blueprint. That's all it is. It's a blueprint. We got a blueprint of this house that we want to build. Here it is. No. You've decided what kind of house you want to build, Congressman, and you have voted on it. So here's the best play for the Democrats right now. Harry Reid, Senate Majority Leader, put this baby on the table in the Senate, and let's have a vote. Let's go to the Republicans in the Senate and ask them if they're on board with this radical budget. That's what the president called it. He said it was radical. We asked the Republican National Committee and House Republican Conference Committee members to come on this show and defend why 235 members of the House voted for Paul Ryan's plan, even though it's just a blueprint. And, of course, they declined. Hopefully they'll change their mind after their conference call tomorrow, because they're reeling. They didn't expect to get this earful in the heartland. They didn't think that those folks followed the news, but they do. Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think. Tonight's question: will Republican lies about Medicare work? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. You can always go to our new blog at ed.msnbc.com. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. Joining me now, my favorite senator, independent from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. I've never said you were my favorite senator on this program before or when I was doing the 6 o'clock, but you are. And I want to announce that tonight. You are my favorite senator because you stand up to what is wrong with this country, and you always have a solution on what we need to do to make things better for the middle class, and I respect that, Senator. Great to have you with us. Now, I want to know, should Harry Reid bring this to a vote to get all these Republican senators on record in the Senate? What do you think?
Absolutely. This is the most right-wing extremist piece of legislation that I've ever seen in my life. It is a massive transfer of wealth from the middle class and working families to the very wealthiest people in this country. Ed, what we have to understand, this is not about deficit reduction. These guys want to give $1 trillion of tax breaks to the wealthiest people in this country when they convert Medicare into a voucher program and make savage cuts in Medicaid, and they also want to move toward the privatization of Social Security. So what you're talking about now is the Robin Hood proposal in reverse. We're taking from the poor and working families and give to the very, very wealthy. If the Republicans like this idea, let's have that vote on the Senate floor. Let them vote for it.
I agree. I mean, this is really would be some great theater to see these Republican senators out there after what the House members got out on the road the last few days, make them come back and pony up to it or distance themselves from it. Here's the other thing. What does muddy the waters mean, in your opinion? What do you think their strategy is right now?
Well, to deflect attention from what they are doing or going on a counterattack. That's really what it means. But what is most interesting, Ed, is every poll that I have seen suggests that the Republicans now are doing exactly the opposite of what the American people want.
Sure.
Poll after poll says, you know what? When the rich are getting richer and the middle class is disappearing, ask the wealthy to pay a little bit more in taxes so we can move to deficit reduction in a fair way. What do the Republicans say? No way. More tax breaks for the very rich. You just indicated there are polls out there that say, hey, don't cut Medicare, don't cut Medicaid. That's exactly what the Republicans are doing. We now have the opportunity, I believe, if we're tough, if we're strong, if we're focused, of putting these guys on the defensive and making everybody in America understands what their agenda is.
Now, Senator Coburn yesterday on record saying that he would go along with a tax increase if it was revenue neutral or the net effect of the taxes. Look, you're either going to raise revenue on rich people or you're not. Do you think the Republicans will ever do that in what they are calling a budget crisis?
What this is a lot of hocus pocus. What they are saying is, well, we're willing to do away with some of these loopholes, and we just announced a couple of weeks ago a list of 10 major corporations, Ed, who made billions and billions of dollars in profits, who either paid nothing in taxes or actually got a rebate from the IRS. So what the Republicans are saying, well, we're willing to take a look at some of those outrageous loopholes, maybe the tax havens in the Cayman Islands and Bermuda. But on the other hand, what we want to do is lower the corporate tax rate, so it's revenue neutral. I think we want to do away with these loopholes, raise revenue, use it for deficit reduction instead of slashing Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security.
Senator, great to have you with us tonight. I'm sure it's going to change your career now that I said that to you. You're my favorite senator. You are. And
thank you very much.
You know, look, you're a guy that has been consistent. You are a senator who has always put the people first and put the concerns of the middle class first. And if we had more Bernie Sanders in the Senate, we wouldn't have these little gangs of six out there that I have no clue what the heck they're trying to do. Because I think the three Democrats that are on the gang of six, they're just buying into the Republican talking points, and they are caving. The big three should be off the table, non-negotiable. Let's go down the road for a couple of years of taxing the rich and then come back and visit it again and see where our treasury is. That's what I think. Senator, great to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time.